This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And Grace is going to bring us on home with another episode of Inspector Gadget, the show that we are covering in our very first arc of the year 2025.
Yes, we are.
Inspector Gadget. Which, can we take a moment to talk about the bop that is that? Because we missed that in the first two episodes.
Synth-filled bop? Yes, it is incredible.
Yeah, that intro song, for people who don't know, like, go listen to it.
And like how, I guess people probably know the little part that we always quote. But yes, when I first watched
the whole song.
Yeah. I was blown away by it. I thought it was just that little ditty part of it, but
like the drummer for whoever, like whatever band performed that. And I actually, I do think I looked it up and like saw who produced that song and everything and like what it was inspired by. But like the drummer said rent is due, okay? And these hi-hat cymbals aren't gonna hit themselves because there is some amazing like hi-hat break work going on in there. Some awesome drumming. The synths, like Grace said, it's like a straight like funk groove rock band that performs this song.
Yes,
with
literally
a beautiful harmony of background singers just talking about Inspector Gadget. Yeah.
If the lyrics were just not about Inspector Gadget, this would have been a hit in 1983 when it came out. Like this would have been on the charts.
Yeah, for sure.
It was simply just that the words Inspector Gadget were used instead of, I don't know, whatever other catchy things.
Yeah. So great song. I mean, and again, I'm sure that it's one that like everyone is familiar with, even if you haven't seen Inspector Gadget. It's one of those ones like I know that song. So I put it up there with Darkwing Duck, I think, and The Amazing Chans for, the best intro songs in all of the shows we've covered, at least so far.
Yeah, God,
that and the OG Scooby-Doo.
Some of them are just like so different that it's hard. I'm really struggling to rank them lately.
Rescue Rangers too. That one is also good. But Inspector Gadget though,
Tailspin,
whoa,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, look. Maybe my words later. It is hard, but I will say, I think, at least in this very moment, and maybe it's recency bias, but I think that Inspector Gadget has the best song of all the cartoons, intro song of all the, and that's tough. It's
above Darkwing Duck?
I still say so, and that's saying so. Darkwing Duck is maybe tied for first, or it's a close second. There's just something about
big news.
It's big news. I'm making a big statement here.
Okay.
I'm saying it. I don't know. It's a tough call, but it's one of those two for sure. And at the moment, it's Inspector Gadget. Now, if I go back and watch Darkwing Duck, I'll probably say it's that after this. Duck. Yeah, because I'll be like, oh wait, what am I saying? I'm crazy.
Okay. I respect this opinion deeply because I mean it is again like if literally just the words Inspector Gadget were not in it, it would have been on the radio.
You know, you're right. The lyrics in Darkwing Duck are awesome. So even if the beat or like the instrumentals are equally awesome, the lyrics in Darkwing Duck are better because it is a whole song. You're right. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, if you listen to that song with like massive like studio headphones on, so you really hear the bass and everything. I'm telling you, the Inspector Gadget one's on some other level.
I'm gonna listen to Darkwing Duck and then Inspector Gadget. I'm gonna do back-to-back analysis for myself
and out. Yeah.
All right,
we'll come up with a ranking system. We'll do a real thing. No, I'm joking.
I mean, we'll talk about doing that for every time we say this theme song is a bop, and then we'll never do it, though.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of work.
It does. If someone wants to help us do that, maybe shoot us an email because we probably could have a good ranking system going on here. But for us, it's just like, what's the last thing we talked about?
And that one's my favorite now.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Wow.
Anywho.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because I had thought about that in my first episode, and I was like, this is already going to be so long. I can't bring it up yet.
Yeah. It was going to come up eventually.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Today, I will be covering Season 1, Episode 36 of the original iteration of Inspector Gadget, which I picked solely on the title of the episode, which is Plantform of the Opera.
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh. I feel like this interests you in a lot of ways. We're checking off a lot of boxes for Grace here.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
In the same sense that Yeah, I'll always have an episode that has to do with a heist somehow. If there is a Phantom of the Opera referencing episode, I will also find that.
Find it.
If there's a will, there's a way, aka you'll find that episode.
I looked. I couldn't find one for Inspector Gadget.
Because they don't have any, they're
next
undercover.
Of kin.
Yeah, exactly.
That too. Yeah.
Like they're undercover. They don't have anything to give. Yeah, exactly. Last of kin. So, yes, even though I will say the original novel, Phantom of the Opera, which obviously this is named after, was French, we are starting today's episode in Rome, Italy.
Back to Rome.
Yep. Okay. And Gadget, Penny, and Brain roll up to a square in Rome, and they park right in front of an opera house, specifically La Scampi Opera House. And you may be thinking, Scampi.
I know what scampi means.
Yes,
in Italian.
Alexis, the chef among us here. Yes, it is referencing scampi as in the dish, the food.
Okay, yeah, or like shrimp.
Yes, exactly, shrimp scampi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why I'm specifically bringing this up, the name of this opera house has nothing to do with this episode, but what it does have to do with, to me, is the main purpose of why the writers wrote this episode. Which, as a reminder, that this was a show by French writers. Like, this was originally a French show bought by Canada, like that kind of thing. Who, the French, as I'm sure you know, very stereotypically, don't always get along with Italians.
Right, correct.
Like, they kind of got a little bit of a sibling rivalry situation going on there.
There was kind of a whole thing during the 40s, too.
A couple little mishaps.
Kind of. Yeah. Not misunderstanding. No? We won't say that. Nope.
A couple
Retract
spats.
That statement.
Perhaps.
Yeah. These spats in history.
Yes.
If you will.
If you will. And so my thesis for this episode is that the writers wrote it to shit on Italians.
Nice. Okay. That's hilarious.
And that's the entire purpose of this episode. So sorry, Italians, I didn't write it.
You didn't, I didn't blame them.
Don't ship the messenger.
Just the messenger, exactly.
The messenger. And we really start off with
we will also enjoy their shitting on Italians, though.
But also, it's pretty funny. We can shit on other Europeans.
I'm just the messenger, but the message is hilarious.
But the way they do it is pretty funny.
Okay, cool.
So, as they pull up, yes, they start off immediately making fun of Italians. As Gadget says, yes, Rome, the land of antiquity and hilarious buildings. And Penny says, do you mean historical? And Gadget's like, yeah, sure.
Oh, God.
So,
right off the gate.
Yeah. So, yes, as they parked in front of an opera house, we do hear like operatic singing happening, and it's very cute. Brain howls along with it. Like, he's an artiste, a theater kid. He's got his costumes. He's always ready.
Cultural.
He's cultured. And so with this in the background, they like look around the square that they're in, very classically in like big squares in Rome. There's a giant fountain, the beautiful marble statue in the middle. This one is a statue of Atlas. He's got the giant globe on his back, et cetera, et cetera. And this, like just past the fountain, is a palace. And this palace, it's like seems to be made of bronze. Like it's kind of like a brownish, goldish color, and it's like glimmering in the sunlight. It's like pretty gaudy. Like it is. There's it's a little over the top in the design. It's got like this huge fence to keep people out, which again, I think is just them making fun of Roman architecture.
Italians,
Italian architecture.
Okay.
And Gadget looks at his guidebook and learn that this is indeed a palace. It's the palace of the one and only, the Italian great, the Pizza King.
Yes, I do remember reading about him in our world history class.
Yes, very important.
Or at least thinking about him at some point during world history.
Yes, there's always chosen by God. There's always a pizza heir. That's that's a mini pizza is the heir all the time. And yes, throughout the history of Italy, they've passed down the
great
title.
Pizza Wars.
Yes. The having just a white sauce versus a red sauce wars.
Exactly.
Yes,
are pineapples okay on it?
Yeah, some of Italy's bloodiest wars, in fact.
Yes.
Pizza Wars.
We all remember. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, yes.
Dark times.
Dark times. So, yes, the Pizza Palace with the Pizza King inside. Yes, he is very rich to the point that he has in his vaults below the palace, presumably, the infamous Bejeweled Pizza, which is a gold pizza with rubies as pepperonis, emeralds as spinach and anchovies, diamonds as I don't know what, but to show that he is a king
onions,
and very
maybe?
rich.
Because
yeah,
he's very
onions.
rich.
Yeah, let's go
yes.
with that. This
God,
is basically the crown
again.
jewels of the king or
of Italy.
Of like the equivalent of England's crown jewels. This is Italy's crown jewels. Fuck the Pope who's down the road here in Rome. This is our crown jewel.
Yeah, that crown jewel, the Bejeweled Pizza is part of the ceremony to choose the next Pope. Actually, the Pope answers to the Jewel Pizza.
It's like a bunch of cardinals and the Pizza King.
The pizza, the pizza at the head of the table.
Exactly.
Yes. Nice.
So Penny and Gadget are like, whoa, that's neat. And they continue to look around the square when they notice that the statue of Atlas is moving a little bit, shaking even, as if it's really hard to keep up a giant marble version of the Earth. And upon closer inspection, Atlas is smoking a pipe, as always.
Oh, this mofo.
It's Chief Quimby.
Man.
He's sitting there. It's also funny, he has to stick the note that has the mission on it in his pipe because his hands are holding a globe up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, he gives them their next mission, which they read, and they've learned that Dr. Claw has a new weapon that can melt metal. And it is somewhere here in Rome, and they have good reason to believe that, kind of similar to your last episode, that these folks for some reason or some of their agents for some reason have infiltrated the opera. And they're not sure how this is all connected yet. But basically, before Claw uses the weapon, Gadget needs to find the agents, find the weapon, shut it down, hopefully also figure out what they're trying to do with this weapon. So, we cut to... Yes, Alexis? Do you have a theory?
Dr. Claw just wants to take Gadget to a romantic evening at the opera. What a wonderful date idea.
He wants to get
everyone take
some
notes.
Pizza beforehand.
Get date ideas
Italian
from Inspector
pizza.
Gadget. Yes, exactly. Go look at the statues and the architecture from ancient Rome.
Yeah,
and then
have a little romantic
traditional
pizza.
Roman. Exactly.
Yeah, Roman style.
Do the
pizza.
cheese pool like Lady in the Tramp style on the piece of pizza. And
then a night at the opera.
Yeah.
God, that's romantic as fuck.
He's got a good heart somewhere under that metal suit.
Under that metal, yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget's also made of metal. It's a match made in heaven.
Opposites don't always attract sometimes.
To melt Gadget's metal heart.
It's a magnet that just pulls them together.
He's melting his heart. It's like not actually like a destruction, like weapon of mass destruction at all. It's like a metaphor.
Yeah.
I'll melt his heart with this time.
Exactly.
I mean, we'll find out if it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to come back to this pretty soon here. Okay. So we cut to the inside of the opera house where our diva, our main star of the opera, is in rehearsal. She's the classic, like, this is an Italian opera star woman vibe of, like, she's heavier set. She's got the long blonde hair, probably in the braids, and she is working on her scales. And the director, who is a short man with a big white mustache, is not happy with how rehearsal is going. He is reprimanding her for not hitting her notes. And this man, every other word out of his mouth, like, why aren't you hitting the notes, Mamma Mia?
Oh no!
And then at like some point, he's like throwing in like pastas. God, Mamma Mia, lasagna. They need to be a higher, my diva. And like, he is popping off essentially in incredibly hilarious, I'm sure offensive to actual Italians way.
Oh, for sure. Again, the French wrote it. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, blame them.
The French are dunking on you guys right now, though. That's all
They
I'm
are.
going to say.
Where's your response, Italy?
Exactly. Italy, where's the response, huh?
Where's
I
the
don't see it
response?
coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting. So, yes, so that's happening. He is present throughout this episode. I need you to know that.
Oh, I cannot wait to see.
Yes. And so they're on the stage, and above them, up in like the catwalk, we see a very like tall, thin man in a jumpsuit. He looks kind of like a janitor. And he gets out a walkie-talkie and walkie-talkies to someone that the experiment is ready to begin. And so he gets the affirmative on the other side of the walkie-talkie. And this man in the catwalk lowers down like a giant tarantula right in front of the opera singer. So obviously seeing this, she screams and is able to hit that note.
Oh, good for you, girl.
Yes, above her hitting the note, or I guess below hitting the note, you hear, Mamma mia, she's done it. He's thrilled.
Whoever is voicing this character probably had a ball in the recording studio. Probably, honestly.
Yeah, they're having a blast.
He's having a good time. Yeah.
And so we dip now below the stage. We dip now below the opera. And we find tunnels like every good European opera has. Tunnels that are winding beneath the opera house, through the sewers, through the entire square, and who knows how far beyond it this goes. But in one of the rooms in these tunnels, they have like offshoots and little rooms down there. We see a very tall, very like broad-chested Italian man, like think like Fabio body, but he's got like a little like a pointy little beard instead. Okay. And he is holding a melted piece of metal. And he smiles and says that the experiment was a success. The opera singer's voice was so powerful that she was able to cover up the sound of the metal melting weapon. And Dr. Claw applauds him, because that's who he's showing the melted metal to. We now see Dr. Claw is there on this discovery. And Alexis, I will tell you about this discovery right now, because it took me the whole fucking episode to figure out what the weapon was, and I still don't actually know how it works.
You're not alone. The writers probably don't either.
They had no idea. And like later on the episode when like they are like using the weapon or whatever, it like makes even less sense than like the setup of it. I tried to explain it and I'm just like, here's what I think is happening. So basically, this broad-chested Italian man. Yeah, who knows? This broad-chested Italian man discovered a plant that when exposed to light, right? So you have a plant, you get it in the light, which they need to survive, but whatever. It emanates a noise so loud or high pitched that it like I think breaks the sound barrier and like can send rays from itself, like sound waves that are so powerful that when directed at metal, it melts it.
Okay. So plug for our YouTube page. So look at so that you all can see the perplexity in our eyes as Grace real time describes this. So you only hear the noise if you're in the same building as the thing, like people in the next building over that can't hear the opera also can't hear the noise. And why does it make this noise? And why? Okay. And how does the noise make... what does it do to the plant again?
So when the plant is exposed to light, the plant makes the noise.
Yes, so the plant makes the noise. And if you're able to harness the sound waves, it can melt metal. And so to your question of what about the people next door and stuff? I think they're directly below the opera because they need the sounds of the opera singer to cover it up. So yes, I think if you're in the building next door, you won't hear it. Okay. But then why don't you just do it at a time where no one's in the opera? I don't know. Why do you have to do it there? So, and there's metal specifically in that building that they have to use it to melt? Like they can't use any
they
other.
are interested in metal that they want to melt down in these tunnels, which is why they've brought it down to the tunnels. And thus
Got
they're
it.
like, the metal we want to melt is
Yeah,
in
do it
these
when the opera's
tunnels.
not freaking performing.
Yeah,
Well, but I
exactly, when
guess
there's no one in there.
because it's like it has to only be loud enough for people in the building to hear. Because if you can't hear it outside of the building, then yeah, just wait until
Yeah,
the opera's
no one's in
over,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Here's
that just
here's now what
yeah.
I think though that I just came up with is that what a
Uh-huh.
better way to end a romantic evening with a flower, with some flowers.
Aw, you're right. And it's serenading flowers, no less,
Exactly,
I
that can
guess.
melt metal like Gadget's cold
The
heart
gadget's
towards
heart.
Claw. So I think
Yeah.
maybe that's why they have
It
this
all makes sense now. You're right.
insane plan that makes no sense. But to Claw, he's like, yeah. Okay, go do whatever you all just said, but I need the plant by the time curtain falls.
And
Okay.
like, why does it have to be a plant that does this? I guess I'm expecting just like a ray gun or a
I
laser of some
think
sort to melt metal.
I think it
Do they
has to
need
be
it
a
to be
plant.
conspicuous or
No, I think it needs to be a
inconspicuous,
plant
whichever?
so they could name the episode Plantform of the Opera.
Got you. Dr. Claw was thinking about the writers.
Yep. Nope. I
Yes.
think that is solely it. They needed that pun to
I
work.
see. Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
So, we mentioned again in this insane plan that there is metal below the opera in these tunnels that they're looking to melt.
Hmm.
And it is indeed the vault door that holds the bejeweled pizza.
Okay.
Because
Yes. I figured
again,
that was coming.
yes, the palace is right across the square and it's all connected in these tunnels below that presumably you only have access if you can access these buildings. Thus, the vault is somewhere down there. So, yes, Dr. Claw is giving that Italian broad-chested man some praise for such a find, and again, being like, this can be so romantic later. When he gets a call on like his little computer that he always has from another one of his agents, one that is calling him from the opera's box office,
Oh,
telling
high
him that,
class.
yeah, exactly.
Or no, I was
Telling
thinking
him,
box seats, not box office.
well,
Never mind.
keep that in mind for a
Okay.
little bit. They've been in
Okay.
it. And the man timidly tells Dr. Claw and like kind of shows him on his, whatever recording device he's using, that he has spotted Gadget out in the square. So of course, Claw, needing to put up a front, is infuriated and demands that all of his agents jump into action to shut Gadget down before the show starts. But now I'm realizing that this is just furthering our speculation because the plan is to make sure that Inspector Gadget gets the ticket to the box seats in the opera from the guy at the box office. Okay, granted, it's an exploding ticket.
Okay, well, Claw
But
knows that he's used to that. Inspector Gadget likes exploding things.
yeah,
He
he loves
explodes things all day, every
all the
day.
time. But yeah, so I'm now
Yeah,
just realizing that yes, one, take the pin out, yes, box seat. Two, that yes, his plan was like, make sure he gets the ticket and it's to the private box. Dr.
exactly.
Class.
Like the nicest, most
Yeah.
romantic date gesture you could
Yes.
ever make
Yes, and
for one who
even though
likes operas.
and even though Penny and Brain are right there, they only give him one ticket. So it is literally just
Oh,
for Gadget. Dr.
he's
Claw's
like,
like,
yeah,
we're
tell your
not
kids to wait
babysitting tonight.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Dr.
great.
Claw,
Cool.
what a considerate man.
Really adding
Wow.
up. Romantic. So, yes, the box office agent leaps into action and runs out to Gadget, offering him a ticket to tonight's performance.
Mhm.
And yes, it is, again, an exploding ticket. But Gadget is very readily excited. So Dr. Claw is right. He loves the opera. And Gadget just ditches his niece and her dog in the middle of Rome and is like, great, I've been dying to see the opera. But of course, Penny is like, yeah, see ya. You're just
See ya.
going to slow me down.
Mhm.
So she's fine with it. And of course, tells Brain to go keep an eye on Gadget.
Yeah.
But moments after getting the ticket into his hands, Gadget, good old Butterfingers, simply drops it and it gets taken away with the wind.
Mm.
But Gadget is determined to see the opera, so he jumps into his car to follow the ticket and try and grab it. And he's immediately followed by that like tall, thin agent who is in like the jumpsuit who dropped the spider down.
Oh.
He follows Gadget in a van, and then Brain runs after them on foot. Brain's just dressed up like a little janitor for this.
Mm.
Another, the French making fun of Italians. Gadget is like ripping through a market. And when the mad agent comes through, he's like in a big old van. He runs right into this like portly old man with a big mustache who's like carting a cart filled with tomatoes.
Oh my
And
gosh.
crashes right into it and basically gets tomato sauce all over his like mirror, all over his car to the point where he crashes right into a river.
Oh, great.
So, yes.
I was expecting the tomato man to be like, Mamma mia,
Mamma
or
mia,
something.
my tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
And so he's able to scramble out, though, of the sinking van and calls the other agents to let them know that Gadget is on the way, which he indeed is. Okay. So Gadget was able to grab his ticket and he sped back to the opera house because it was moments away from starting. And so he runs into the theater, but of course, like any good citizen, he's going to give his ticket to the people who need it. So he chucks the ticket right back into the box office where that box office agent was. And of course, it explodes right in his face.
Oh my God. Whatever works, bro. Whatever works.
Yep.
Whatever gets the job done.
Gadget runs into the opera, trailed by Brain, who's changed into like an usher's outfit. But Gadget obviously doesn't know where the frick he's going, so he stops to ask an usher for help, like an actual usher, not Brain. And we pause here. I love the Italian director. He's very fun, but this is my favorite character because...
Oh, no.
Much like in your episode, there was a supposedly human being with an interesting body shape.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I can only describe this very short man who maybe comes up to like Gadget's waist as he's in his usher uniform, so he's have a nice little uniform on.
Okay.
An egg with legs.
Oh.
He's just
and like
he looks exactly like Humpty Dumpty. He has mainly skinny legs and just like a small egg as his body, fully bald, small egg body. Long legs.
No waistline, nothing like that. Just full on oval.
Full on oval.
Aww.
Skinny at the top, wide at the bottom.
Not pear shaped, just oval.
Just egg. They couldn't give him any definition. Egg with legs. And
it does make you wonder, because they do a good job of drawing other characters. Like, did they just run out of ideas at the last minute?
We were just bored every time. They're like, let's just throw this in here.
Let's just throw random. Yeah, let's just throw this one in there. Let's see if the kids notice this one.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
See what they say.
But this is not the end of why I love Eggman. I love Eggman because while the other agents that we've seen, like the one in the jumpsuit and the box office one, either were Italian, and the broad-chested Italian guy, I think he was actually Italian. Yeah. The other two agents seemingly at least had some type of Italian accent going on, maybe not as thick as the other Italians there. The little egg-shaped man, you know what he pulls?
Go ahead. I won't.
He pulls a Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh no!
Buongiorno.
Not even close to what I could have ever guessed.
What did you think I was going to say? That he was just even crazier?
Like a New Yorker. It's just a New Yorker. It's just some more, your seat's over there, kid.
Get on up there,
kid. Something like an Italian American in New York or Chicago or something.
I will say it's not fully a Southern accent. It maybe is a little more Northern, but just so clearly not trying to sound Italian and undercover in any way, shape. Buongiorno.
Signora.
Grazie, signor. So, yes, he just talks like that the whole time, and it really saying a lot of Italian words.
Ciao. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, and it was just really joyful because any reference I have to that moment in that movie, I will make. So
please do.
Eggman.
Any Quentin Tarantino movie, if it can come up, we're going to shoehorn it in.
Yeah. So Eggman brings him to the box seats that, his ticket was for. And specifically, his seat, Gadget's seat, is in the middle of an empty row. And it's 3 seats in a row. And the middle seat is for Gadget. And we, the viewer, notice that seat has an emblem of Mad, Mad's logo or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, their logo, their brand.
Their brand.
They put a lot of money into that,
like
okay?
A cat or something like that.
Yeah.
Which we love for Mad Cat. Mad Cat is the face.
Yes,
That's why
he's the face
around.
of the whole organization.
Exactly.
Yes.
But as Gadget has never listened to a thing anybody has said in his entire life, once the egg leaves, Gadget just mindlessly sits in a different seat. He doesn't sit on the emblem seat.
Okay.
But the jumpsuit agent makes his way back to the opera, sees up in the box seats that, yes, Gadget's in the wrong seat, changes into an usher's costume and tries to go up there and tries to like tell Gadget to like scoot a seat over. Like, that's not where your ticket is, sir. Like, scoot over. But Gadget is like reading the program for the opera and just like waves the agent away. And in the process of waving the agent away, he knocks the agent into the seat next to him, the Mad branded seat.
Yeah.
And it is not a seat at all, but instead is a trap door that the agent falls through.
Oops.
Oopsies.
You know, they made them like that these days. Nice.
Yeah. And so in the process of all this, though, Gadget drops something onto the floor. And so he's like trying to feel around for it. And very quickly himself, of course, falls right into the trapdoor.
Oh, so did he not see the first agent, the agent fall through it? Was he like looking somewhere else when it happened? Or was he just like...
What do you think the answer to that question is?
I mean, yeah, I already know. I guess I just have to make sure. Like, surely it wasn't as ridiculous as you just described, was it? No, it was.
No, he was actively reading the program and saying, I got to figure out what's going on in this show.
I mean, I feel like you have to be reading it. I wish I had a book,
right? Like so
to like
close.
It's got to be like here to like block out. To not notice the seat
next
vision.
to you of a man being like,
next to you. Yeah, like you would feel something.
Him grabbing at your trench coat.
Yeah.
For help.
All right.
No. But no.
Don't put it past Gadget.
Yep, exactly. But while all this is happening, Penny was searching the square for a secret way in, which she does find like down into the opera in some way, shape, or form. And she does find a manhole cover that drops down into the tunnels beneath the square. So Penny, this is the exact example as to why she's the bravest person in the show, because she just jumps right down this manhole cover into like the sewers / tunnels, not actually knowing if it goes into the opera. She's just like, this is probably gonna work. Brain's not with her. Bye.
Like, okay. Inadvisable, but okay.
Yeah, not.
Also, I mean,
not good.
Like, what if it was like flooded down there and she just like was covered in water, like, I feel like above her head in water? Like,
yes,
I don't know. When she broke her ankles falling in straight down, like you're supposed to climb down a ladder, not just
could
jump
be someone
in those things.
Ready to stab her immediately. Like, we don't know.
Exactly. We don't know what's under there. I've read enough comics to know all sorts of monsters live in the sewers.
She's like, look, I've read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm in Rome. Yeah. Isn't that where Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, like they're from here, aren't they?
Donatello. Yeah,
they're probably down here.
Props. So they eat pizza all the time.
Oh my god, that's why she thinks she's safe. It's coming together.
Yeah, she thought so. Yeah.
Things are coming up, Penny. So yes, back at the opera house, or more so down this trap door of the opera house, the agent who fell down quickly is able to like jump up and dash out of the room. They've like seem to have fallen in like a costume room. And he slams the door behind him and locks it. Then in a move that made me be like, did Dr. Claw buy this opera house? Like, what? How was this built into the design?
How did he trick this out?
Or it made me be like, oh, what do the French think of the Italians? Maybe again in that 40s timeline that we previously mentioned.
Late 30s, early 40s.
Because the agent, as Gadget then falls in, pulls a lever outside of the room, and through all of the vents, gas starts forming in the room.
Oh, no.
Gas chamber.
Oh, no. Dr. Claw found this building on sale from the couple prior owners.
Yeah, Gadget has to fully put a gas mask on, which he does have because he's Inspector Gadget. But yeah, so he has to put a full gas.
Go-go-Gadget gas mask. Oh, that's super dark.
Yeah, big
Okay.
yikes. Big yikes.
Okay.
But what this agent didn't count on was, yes, Gadget kind of being a badass in this moment, I gotta say. Like, the smoke is pink and it's like filling the room. And like, we
Mhm.
just see like this black gas mask come on and like start
Hmm.
walking through the room. So all we really see is the gas mask. And then all of a
Interesting.
sudden, he like gets his laser finger out and just like carves the shape of himself in the door. And I was like,
Oh,
damn, Gadget, you kind of look cool
okay.
right here.
There's one.
Yeah.
There's one.
One. Yeah, and he didn't fuck it up
One.
either. He like was able to walk out of the
No.
door
And he like
totally
knew what to
normally.
do.
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
kind of cool. So yeah, he did one
Good
cool
for
thing.
you, Mr.
Yes. It
Gadget.
won't
Okay.
last, but
No, but enjoy it
this,
while it happens.
yes, exactly. This piece was a success. So,
Yes, good for him.
yes. Um, so we now see further in the tunnels somewhere here. Okay, this is where it gets so impossible to describe, basically. Here's the
Just
situation.
now?
No, we're coming back to the weapon. Here's why we're gonna
Oh,
get
okay, that, yeah,
a
yeah,
little chaotic here. So, okay,
yeah.
we have one room that looks to be very secure, and that is where the plant is. And
Okay.
this room is directly below the stage of the opera. So it's like, again, the singer will cover up the noise from the
The
plant.
plant.
Yes. Okay. So that's in one
Uh-huh.
room. And the plant is like sitting on a table, and it is in front of it has a microphone. And this microphone is wired out through that lockdown door,
Uh-huh.
through the tunnels to basically an amplifier or like some type of sound wave, like translation machine. I don't know what the fuck it was, but basically
Mm-hmm.
that's where the plant will sing. The
And the
noise will
metal
go
will get
into the
melted.
mic. Yes, go into this other machine, and this machine will like amplify it and direct the sound wave to the vault door that it is sitting in front of.
Is this under the opera too, or is this a totally different building?
Unclear how far the tunnel had to go to get there. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
There have to be so many other sources of loud noise that you could choose from
Yes.
other than the opera house. Because at
Yes.
first I was like, oh, they have to get the gold from the opera or the metal from the opera house to melt, which is why they have to be in
No.
the opera house. If they needed any other metal, they could go to that building and have some other loud noise
Nope. Well,
distract from
yeah.
that. No, they just figured the opera is the only thing loud enough for them to use this. So they get like a 500-foot long cable to go
Yes,
through
exactly.
the
It is
Italian
so
streets
unclear
and through the tunnels. And
how close the vault
okay.
is. Like, there's no answer. I think the main point I'm making is that the flower and the amplifier are in different rooms, and the
Yeah.
plant is directly below the stage.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that's all I know.
Okay. I get
At
it. It
all.
doesn't make sense, but I get it.
I get that they're in different rooms, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Still don't think
whatever's
why it has to be a plant, but okay.
a lot
And
of,
like as
lot
if
of
people won't notice a giant amplifier and some outside of some random
a
vault.
bunch
Like,
of like 18 electric or like extension cords all hooked to one another, like
yeah.
through the
And
halls.
also, okay, so the plant being right under the opera hall,
Uh-huh.
the singers will cover up the noise that the plant is directly making, but then it's putting that into a microphone and taking
Yeah,
it to an amplifier. So what's
sure is.
covering up the noise at the vault?
I don't
The
know.
opera singer sure as fuck isn't,
I
right?
think
Or
the
maybe she.
amplifier must be somehow like converting the sound waves because all you see around the amplifier is like the like I don't know, like as if it's like a
Waves.
ray, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
thing hitting the vault
Like you
door.
don't actually hear anything though. You just
Correct.
see like
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So
this is like a super high pitched frequency. So
yeah, then why do you
can you
need
not
that?
even hear it? Yeah. So then why do you need the opera?
An
What is it to keep
excuse
dogs from going
for
crazy
Dr.
around
Claw to
it?
take Gadget to the opera. The people who found the
That's
plant, the
the only
broad-chested
logical
guy.
explanation at this point, Grace. Like truly, like that, like nothing else makes sense. Like, oh well, I guess Dr. Claw must have wanted Inspector Gadget to see this opera with
Yeah, like
him,
everyone else was like,
or
cool,
with him in the same building at
we can
least.
just set it up right there, right in front of the vault. We can get down to it through all these manhole covers, like da 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 da. And Dr. Claw was like, you don't know how good of hearing people are going to have. We need it. The plant itself to be beneath the opera. The one that I've purchased a box in.
And a
so
ticket
that
for.
I got one ticket for.
I bought the entire
me.
box, the whole box seat section for one person.
For one
All right.
person. Sorry,
We
are you
better
gonna
make it work with this
question
opera.
me? I don't see a doctor in front of your name. Dr. Agent? I don't think so.
I don't think
Dr.
so.
Claw. You gonna question
I
me?
don't see bedazzled jewels on your hands.
Yeah. Come
All
back to me
right.
when you got a
I run
gauntlet.
this game. Yeah.
Exactly.
My cat is the logo of this whole
Yeah.
organization, not your cat.
Yeah, Matt Cash is
Okay.
hissing in the background.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. What a
yes.
plot. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. So, Dr. Claw, of course, as we were just saying, has his eyes on everything. So he sees that Gadget is now wandering the halls below, and he tells his agents to go find Gadget, presumably to get him back to his seat so he doesn't miss the opera or run into the
Okay.
flower before it's time to give it to him. But
Yeah.
as they're doing this, the agents kind of, take care of Gadget in their own way and assume that means to eliminate him and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, luckily, Brain has followed Gadget down there. Like, he jumped down the trick seat after him, all that kind of stuff. And most notably, as, a tit for tat comes to fruition of the agents trying to kill Inspector Gadget, Brain coming in and saving the day so Gadget doesn't die, et cetera, et cetera. But notably, there's one moment that has led me to have some speculation about Brain. Because at one point when they're in like the props room or whatever, there's a cannon down there that casually works. And we see the agents, like when the agents gets out a match and it's like a super close up, and then we see him like slow-mo light the cannon like on the fuse. And then it like changes perspective from like the agent lighting the cannon to like Brain, like a close-up on like his nose and to forehead, and his eyes are huge, and we just see the reflection of the cannon or like the fuse with the fire. And like we've joked about 1,000-yard stares on this show.
Yeah.
But like the like fiery reflection that Brain saw, I was like, what's happened to Brain? What happened to Brain?
You just hear like faded helicopter noises and like explosions and men like get
Brain run. So it made me wonder, is Brain's not just a pet? Like, is Brain actually like an MK Ultra dog, like a Navy SEAL trained? Like, he's gone into more war zones than any dog ever should. Like,
and this
Zero Dark 30 was Brain. Like,
on Brain. So my theory that I came up with the other day while watching, I like said something out loud and I like had to pause the show and just kind of hold my mind like, is that? I feel like Inspector Gadget is so dumb that he literally does not have a brain. Okay. And I feel like you see where I'm going. You see, that was literally the way.
Keep going, yes.
Accident happened that had forced him to turn into a cyborg. They saved whatever they could. His face, his hair, etc.
Yes.
But to make him a robot, they couldn't, maybe only half of his brain or something. They're like, we can't use the whole thing.
Yes.
Whatever was left, they're like, we're not just going to toss away a brain.
Yes.
So they put it
especially
in this dog,
of our top inspector, who used to be a really good inspector.
And this is why Brain is so fucking smart and knows how to use all this tech stuff.
Oh my God.
And knows how to like fight and save Inspector Gadget from everything.
And actually cares about saving Penny.
Human brain. Exactly.
His niece.
Because he has half of whatever Inspector Gadget was as a real human. Half of his brain has now been put into Brain the dog. Because I don't know, maybe Brain was also their police dog and got hurt too. And like they're like, well, we can save the dog.
We can save both of them.
The rest of Inspector Gadget's memory or whatever by putting it in Brain. And that's why Brain is so smart.
Oh my God.
And that's why his name is Brain.
That's why his name is Brain, and that's why when he sees this fuse end of fire, he hears the helicopters, he hears the gunfire. He's seen everything that
Inspector Gadget saw as an actual, like, Inspector pre-accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think we've solved it.
I think so.
Wow. Yeah. Brain just occasionally like picks up his shaking paws of like the blood that's been on his hands.
Oh no. Oh no.
Brain is
The
like the most
trauma.
severely traumatized of this entire
Yes.
like cast, and like all he dedicates his life now to is to saving Penny, because both as yeah, cop dog, a police dog, and as
Slash
Inspector
like the brain
Gadget,
of her uncle.
he's
Yeah.
killed too many people. So now in
Uh-huh.
his second chance at life, he's determined to save Penny.
But he's like
Wow.
still not totally there because he's like
Yeah.
the one of the other reasons he has to save Inspector Gadget too is because he's like, isn't that me? I need to I can't let
Yes.
myself get
This
hurt.
feels
So I
like I have
have
a
to like
natural
something
pull
is
to save
yeah.
this
Like that half of his brain is
thing.
still connected to whatever half is left in Inspector
Yes.
Gadget. And so yeah, that and
Yes.
again, like yes, protecting Penny,
Yes.
protecting
One
anyone because the horrific thing
zillion
that probably
percent.
made Inspector Gadget a cyborg. Yeah.
Yes. I think
So
you
putting
are.
that out there,
Yep.
people, just saying.
Yes. And perhaps it was some type of fire that caused said huge accident, and that's why Brain seeing it right
Indeed.
now just stirred
hmm
something in him.
Which would make sense because, like, with the fire, some parts might be burned off and beyond repair, but like some other
Exactly.
parts might not. So it's like they got enough
Yes.
skin for the face and like all
Yep.
that. He wears Gadget wears gloves too, right? So like, I think he
Yes, he
does.
wears
I
gloves.
forget.
He's in the full trench coat, like up to
Yeah.
his chin.
So you
Yeah, we
really
don't know
only
what's
see
going
his
on.
face. And even under his hat, like he could just have the hair coming under his hat and
Right.
everything
We
else
don't
could
know
be
what's up
bald. It could
there.
be a computer. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is a computer.
So
Wow. This theory
yeah.
fucked me
So
up right
yes,
now. I don't
that
know if I can finish my
sorry.
episode.
But legit, the face you made when you saw where I was going was the exact face I made when I was watching this episode, an episode the other day, and I was like, "Is
I'm
brain a brain, literally?"
I'm unwell about this. And the answer
Yeah.
is how my
Sorry.
question from the first episode of how the fuck did Inspector Gadget get this job? Well, now we know he
Yeah.
was their top agent.
Yeah. He was actually smart until they had to turn him into a
Wow.
cyborg. And they're like, fuck,
Yeah.
we kind of messed that part up. So I guess we're gonna have to
Yeah.
like keep his very intelligent niece and half of his brain in this dog and like
Wow.
make sure they take care of him. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry
And
if
at the same
yeah.
time, again, why they're like, we also low key do want to destroy him, because we do know if he does ever get smart again, he will turn back into the genius he was and maybe turn against
Exactly.
us because, like,
He'll
he
be the
maybe hates us.
Terminator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, for making him a cyborg.
Yeah.
And just,
Or if you just
yeah,
like RoboCop, that cop turned against all them by the end too. So yeah.
exactly.
Tale as
Wow.
old as time.
A classic tale. You know, I actually have that written
We've been
in.
there, done that,
Instead
and
of
heard
do
it
not
all.
resuscitate, I have a thing that says, please turn me into a cyborg and give half my brain to a dog and let us fight crime. It's a
You carry
really
that in your
long,
wallet.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a really long bracelet, but I think it's going to come true one day.
Fair. Yeah.
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 So, wow. Yes. Thanks.
Incredible.
That was really beautiful. I'm really glad
Yeah,
glad this
yeah. I've
happened.
been
I'm glad this
holding that
happened to
in
us.
since just waiting for the right time to drop that for
Thank you.
like
That
the
was
last five
perfect.
days since it hit me. I was like, oh, when do I tell
Wow.
Grace this?
This is also such
Today was
like
that time.
us being on the same page of being like, ah, yes, he's clearly traumatized from something. Oh,
Something. Oh,
something.
oh, that.
Whoa.
Yikes. Dark.
Wow.
Okay.
Iconic. So,
Mhm.
yes, thanks to Brain's great skills and thwarting of the agents, Gadget is able to safely get out of the tunnels and right onto the stage where the opera is actively happening.
Oh boy. Oh God. Oh
Yep.
no.
So we
This
see
won't go well. Oh
So we
no.
see the diva, she's out there belting it. We see, hiding at the little like hidey hole in the stage, the director probably whispering, Mamma mia, over and
Oh,
over
this is spicy
again.
meatball.
This is a basically opera singer. And we see the broad-chested Italian man who had the plant to begin with is actually an opera singer as well.
Oh. Oh.
And Gadget just wanders the fuck right there out on stage, just like
Dude.
looking around, seeing what's going on. Our little director about to have a heart attack. He is like,
I
who
imagine.
is this man? My show is about to be ruined. Like, he is trying to like wave down the other opera singers to be like, get him off stage.
Get him out of
But
here, yeah.
no one's paying attention to the little director.
Mm.
But because everyone ran away to go chase Gadget, like all of the agents, the weapon down in the tunnels, like the amplifier specifically, is unguarded. And Penny just stumbles right in it. She's been wandering those tunnels the last 20 minutes. She sees this little thing. And she gets out her, like, we talked about it in the winter arc episode. She has this, like, computer, iPad, book, calculator situation where it's like a blue book. And she opens it, and one side is a calculator, and the other side is basically Google. And that's what she has.
But like it's a book, like a hardcover book, not book. Like a tablet.
Yes. And like a Kindle, the 80s, like, so before, data and Wi-Fi and Google. So she somehow has that.
She has it. She's a genius.
Exactly. And so like through just like quick searching on that, she figures out that yes, like this machine is like using sound waves to melt a hole in this vault door. And I guess she pulls up some schematics that she hacked into and confirms that yes, this is the vault of the Pizza King. And so she
forgot about the Pizza King.
You forgot about the Pizza King.
How dare I?
Do not let him hear you say that.
I know, I'm going to hell.
As a chef, especially, Alexis. Come on.
Right? How dare I?
Never be able to make a good dough again if you offend him like that. So anyways, so she starts like punching some buttons, hoping to turn this amplifier off. But instead, in the first mishap of Penny, she sets an alarm off on it.
Oh no, Penny. So, you can't win them all, Penny. You can't.
When it was quiet there below earlier, it is now has an alarm going.
Yeah.
While still melting the door.
Oh God.
So we're mainly going to focus on what happens with Penny down here. But I need you to know, but it's not worth describing moment by moment. While everything is about to happen with Penny is happening, Gadget is on stage, like, dancing and singing with like the diva who she's just like, the show must go on, like a true artiste. She is singing with him.
Good for her.
I know. She was like, I'm a true professional.
Nothing can make me stumble. Yeah,
exactly. And while Gadget is doing that, the agents are of course like up on the catwalk trying to drop things down on Gadget. The opera singer, who is an agent, is like trying to knock over set pieces to catch Gadget. But the power of music is just keeping him safe. He is just down there singing away. And his voice, let me tell you, it is horrible.
Oh.
It is so bad.
I was hoping for a pleasant surprise. No.
I
was like, oh, wow, he's actually good at something. No, he's like, good at nothing.
La, 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 la,
and the diva is letting it work. She's
like, I can sing over this. This is fine.
Like, I got you,
no
honey.
one can hear you.
Just quiet down a little bit and let me, good. You stand
my
right
vibrato will come over this right now. So, so that is happening while all of this is happening. So down in the tunnels, one of the agents, I think maybe the one in like the jumpsuit or something, is only like the box office and Eggman were like dumping things on Gadget with the opera singer. But one of the agents finds Penny like fucking with the buttons of the amplifier. And basically she's been like researching like probably how to turn the alarm off, but also like what's happening, and like figures out about this secret crazy plant thing. And just as she's realizing that, the agent runs in and tries to corner Penny, but she bolts and runs through another door, which unfortunately is a dead end. And the agent, I guess, has a lot of like skeleton keys because he is able to lock her in there.
Ooh.
So he gets the amplifier going again, and presumably to go check on the plant to make sure that like Penny didn't fuck with that too.
Yeah.
But little did this agent know that this little girl has like a watch radio walkie-talkie pager thing that she can call her secret agent dog, who's half human, half dog, to come and save her. Because that's exactly what she does.
Classic oversight by this lackey.
Yeah,
how do you not know? Clearly didn't read the portfolio.
Yeah, the dossier on them.
Yeah, the dossier.
I actually like to think that like Penny is still a mystery in the dossier. Like when they get to, like they have everything about Gadget, including like a bunch of hearts that Dr. Claw has drawn as if it's like a little yearbook.
Himself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
kind of
flowers,
thing.
hearts,
And
etc.
then on like Brain's page, there's like a lot of red string about like who this dog is, like that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
like, is it part Gadget, like that kind of stuff. And then
Yeah,
Penny's
seems to be
page,
very connected to Gadget.
it still just has like a picture, you know, just like the silhouette with a question mark on it.
Exactly, like they don't even know her identity.
Like, who's this
And
third agent?
for the name, they don't even have Penny. They just have like unknown accomplice or something,
Yeah.
like third accomplice or something like that. Because like they have Chief Quimby, they have Brain, third accomplice, question mark, age
tech
unknown,
genius,
gender unknown, height
age
unknown, ally or like attributes,
yeah,
tech
like
genius. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we're all like, oh, that's got to be Penny. They have no clue.
They have no idea. And like happened in your last episode, like Dr. Claw just books it out of there when things are going bad. So he doesn't like follow up with the lackeys who are like
to see
getting carted off.
To get a debrief. Yeah.
Yeah. And like they're also being carted off to like probably the secret, you know, like Metro Police's equivalent of like Guantanamo Bay. So Dr. Claw isn't asking them questions about all of
He's
this.
not going to stick around for that. Exactly.
Yeah. And we know Penny isn't on the books at the agency that Gadget
she's a
works
minor.
For. Yeah, exactly. She legally cannot
be all
be
sorts
on
of
the
lawsuits out against them.
Exactly. But Claw and everyone else only thinks it's because like that's how high up she is there.
Exactly.
That like they've hacked the systems and they can't find a single piece of evidence about her.
Right.
They're like, who is this agent? So
and that's why she and Chief Quimby, they pretend to give all the credit to Inspector Gadget. Yes. Again, they know he's indestructible. Yeah, yes. And for the paperwork, and because they know that Dr. Claw is somehow always surveilling them, so they just make it seem like, yeah, he did all this himself. We don't
crazy.
Know. Crazy, wild, awesome. Good job, Inspector Gadget, and you alone. Who is this random little girl and dog by me? I don't know.
That's so
good job,
weird.
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, they just showed up. It's his niece and dog who just arrived.
They just got here. How good of you to come and say hello to your uncle. Congratulate him on a job well done. Good job.
Thank you for coming from school, which is where you were. Yes, always, constantly. Good.
Yeah. And Dr. Claw is like, his niece, I wonder. I don't know. She seems really nice. Yeah, if only I could figure out who this third accomplice was.
Dr. Claw is like, it's the one downside to all this is that, am I ready to be an uncle? Like, that's all he thinks about Penny.
Yeah.
I know I'm not ready to be a dad, but that's kind of, he's still Uncle Gadget, but am I ready to be a dad?
Still some responsibility there.
Yeah. That's the one thing that holds him back from, fully being vulnerable with Gadget.
So and he sees that Gadget does actually bring Penny everywhere, and he's like, she's kind of clingy for a niece. You got to adjust to this, and that's why he always runs away before it's too late or before it's too soon. Like for Gadget to see, he gets cold feet. Exactly.
It's for like responsibility and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not ready to meet his family yet.
Exactly. How are we going to bring it to Penny? I'm not ready. So yes, Brain does come and free Penny, and she stumbles out and knows basically what she has to do, which is break the amplifier, which has successfully melted a hole in the vault door now. Like you can see the pizza is in there. So like she is kind of a little too late, but it's not big enough to like have someone fit through or anything like that.
Okay.
And so Penny gets out her like calculator, book, tablet, computer thing. And for some reason, completely unbeknownst to me, and at this point in the episode, I've had enough brain power with this plant situation that I just did not question it.
You give up.
She flips open the book, and again, the left book, inside cover is a calculator, and she hits the pi button, and the amplifier explodes.
Pi, like 3.14.
Yep,
I assume.
3.14.
Okay.
Yep.
For my brain did immediately think pie as in eating pie,
food,
dessert pie. Because
a
also
pizza
like
pie. Maybe it's because it's a pizza pie. That's why they did it. Oh, those French.
Damn Frenchies.
Just making fun of those Italians.
Okay, but whatever works. Okay, so sorry, say that again. I was stuck on the pie versus
No, that's
pie
why I brought it
distinguish
up.
that you
Anyways, she
said. What
hits
happens when
that.
she presses the button?
The amplifier explodes.
Oh, cool. Okay, normal. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you enter 3.14 whatever into
Yeah.
a
Exactly. Like she
calculator,
knows
book,
like so many
tablet,
digits of
computer.
it that it
Uh-huh.
exploded.
It overloaded the system.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, exactly as this is happening on stage, Gadget is somehow now carrying our diva, but trips probably over like all the like stage, like the props that are all over the stage now,
Sure. Yeah.
and yeets her across the stage. And she slams right into that like broad chested Italian guy who's also an opera singer. And running into him, she actually falls down on him, which sends him
Mm.
falling down through the floor. And if you
Oh,
remember, what's right beneath also the stage is the
the
plant.
plant.
So
Yes.
he falls directly onto the plant, smashing it into
Mm.
pieces. And
Oh,
this diva, she is still singing. She is
girl,
halfway stuck in the floor. Her feet are dangling down, only her chest up is.
you get that Tony, girl. You get that Tony, or whatever it
She's
is in Italy
making a
for
run for it.
operas.
You know
Yeah,
what? She's got
she's
to get it
giving the
though.
whole academy their money.
Exactly.
Run for their money.
Yes. And so, meanwhile, yes, Chief Quimby and the agents swarm the theater. They arrest all the mad agents as Dr. Claw, as per usual, flees,
Hmm.
leaving them for all dead, essentially. And
Yeah.
Gadget, he's taking a bow on stage as the crowd goes
Oh,
absolutely wild for the performance.
okay, sure. They were all
Yeah.
drunk.
Exactly. They're all
That's
drunk,
the only
and
explanation.
the main takeaway I have is that the director looks pleased about this and he didn't have an aneurysm over his ruined opera, and that's the end.
Good. So how many of them were mad agents? So was the tall broad-chested dude a mad agent too?
Yep. Yeah, so there were four.
Man,
So it was
Dr. Claw has an interesting vetting process. He's like, so this week I need someone who can go vibrato, and I need a tenor
all right,
vibrato.
let me hear it, everyone. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
auditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is it like, are they vetting outside of the group, or is it like within the circle already?
Within the
There's
group, yeah.
already an agent who's like,
A few people that can sing. This
my
is my
time to shine.
chance. Yeah.
I always try and bring it up to the boss how I can sing, and he always tells me to shut up, but not now, not this
Now's my
time.
chance. Now I can actually impress him and show it off to him. And it's like last week
It's
there
my
was that
turn.
the agent who
Luigi,
just always wanted
Mario,
to be a
Margarita.
ringmaster. Yeah.
My time to shine. What'd you say?
Was that his name?
No, I just
Luigio
made that up.
Mario Margarita. Oh,
No,
okay. I was like,
I
I
just decided
really
that.
wish it was. Like, that I bet it was, and they cut it out. They're like, no, that
Yes.
may be a little too far.
Right. Some Mario, Luigi, Margarita is going to sue us.
Right, exactly. Some combo of things.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you.
Um,
As unhinged as usual.
yeah, and now it kind of makes me want to see the opera. I have a new respect. I can't get behind this plant thing though. I like
I have no
who do they have
idea.
like a botanist, like biologist on
Well,
on
here's the
staff?
thing.
Did they
It seemed
kidnap
like
somebody? Did they steal
the
this?
opera singer agent is the one who also like discovered it somehow.
How do you just discover that? And I don't get it. If it's like a supersonic frequency or so high pitched that you can't hear it, why?
Because of
Uh,
the date.
right, sorry.
Because of love, Alexis.
It literally that's the only way any of this makes sense.
Honestly, the entire show. All of
Really,
it.
when you look at it as a complicated, unrequited love situation or story, like
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget makes all the sense in the world
Yes, but
because
without that
otherwise,
key
like these are the most
aspect.
ridiculous supervillain antics. Like
Yes, exactly.
I think there was a point in today's episode where I probably kind of like spaced out because I was trying to compare like where these villain plots stand against other ones we've covered. And I'm like, I think
Mm.
Jabberjaw even makes more sense than this in some ways.
Here was the thing. That's what I
And
was
that's saying a
thinking
lot.
as I was trying to write this. I was like, what we couldn't describe in Jabberjaw was like how Jabberjaw solved things, but the villain plots were just so dumb, but not complicated. They were just like, these are so idiotic. You made like cheerleader sharks. Like, this is insane.
Like, it's so over the top.
Yeah, but with this, again, took me the entire episode to even get, like, this is as much as I could come up with as for like what the fuck was happening. And it took me the whole episode, like multiple watches to like even come up with this. So yes, I think one agent was like, I discovered this, we could use it. You know, we could get some jewels, blah, 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 blah. And as soon as they said...
Dr. Claw was like, oh, yeah, there's an opera next door, too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wait, say this again? What? Give me the map again of where you said.
Explain this plan again and tell me how I can buy box tickets to the opera out of it.
Yeah, come back to me with the plan with a ticket. A box bought and one ticket.
And one ticket.
Yeah. Please. Wait, sir, don't you mean tickets? No.
No.
Did I?
Just one.
Better? I don't think so. One.
And I feel like it's kind of crazier that Dr. Claw perhaps had a lackey on hand who can do opera singing and who happens to discover this crazy plant, whatever, but can't just put some lackeys in costume into whatever like they need to do to sneak into the vault as if they're like the hired guards that work there and they're just going to like do their rounds. It's like
which he
so
already
easy.
Put lackeys in costumes to work at the opera house too.
Exactly. It's like you can't get them next door too, which I get it. Maybe it's like a higher security facility, but like I guarantee you that costs less than whatever the fuck you're trying to do here.
Dr. Claw was like, we need our focus to be at the opera. If all of my people
it has to be perfect.
At the opera, they will keep Gadget at the opera. If my people are at a pizza parlor, he's going to the pizza parlor. That won't be the opera I got him this ticket for.
That's not where I want to take him.
Yeah, exactly. He was directing everyone where he needs Gadget to be because he knows Gadget will like accidentally run into all of them.
Yeah.
He's like a herding dog for these lackeys here.
Gadget needs me, okay? He's lost without me. He has to stay here. Lead him here and keep him here.
Where he can enjoy this show. I wrote this opera for him. I mean,
so many green flags for Dr. Claw.
So many.
Are we getting the right lesson out of this show? I don't know.
I think so.
I'm
pretty sure we are.
Dr. Claw is our hero in The Idol, right? He's the he's the good guy. Okay.
Yeah, we all want him to succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's who
We'll see where this ends up.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. And I mean,
next week.
We won't find out yet, but we'll find out a little more next week. In between now and then, who should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
This week, tell an opera singer. I don't think we've done that yet because we have covered the opera a few times on this show. So I'm like, it's possible. But yeah, tell an opera singer. Yes. Who should they tell?
After that, you should tell someone who works at a pizzeria.
Ooh, yum. Nice.
Yeah. Who's back in the kitchen working. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're slinging those pies.
Slinging them pies.
It's flowery back there. You know, they got to have something to, you know, entertain them while they're
put a headphone on and listen to Inspector Gadget recaps.
Yes, exactly. And we'll see y'all next week then.
Until next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.